Every video creator's journey normally starts off the same way. Camera, lens, and then the next investment is a tripod. Now Small Rig are claiming that they have made the ultimate tripod here with unbeatable value. Let's find out whether it lives up to the hype. My guess is that you're thinking the same thing as me. How can these videos get any more boring? Well, today you're in for a surprise, because we're talking about a tripod. All jokes aside, tripods don't get nearly enough love as they deserve. Any regular viewers of this channel will know that I'm all about gear that you can buy that lasts the entire journey of your film career. One purchase that lasts you 10, 20, 30 plus years and lives with you throughout many different shooting styles and scenarios. And a tripod is definitely one of those things. In the filmmaking world today, it's super tempting to just go and buy a cheap Amazon tripod, what is like an unreliable brand, and then dump all your investment into gimbals and drones and whatever else comes out next. And I'm definitely guilty of this myself. Over the last 15 years, I've definitely not bought good enough tripods or invested enough money in it. If I could go back all the way to the beginning of my filmmaking career, I would just invest in one really expensive, well-made tripod, knowing that that one really well-made, good tripod was gonna last me through most of my filmmaking career, not let me down, and I did not have to worry about it. So I'm about to get into all the cool features that Small Rig have added into this tripod, but before that, I want to talk about what makes a good tripod. First, let's talk about the leg section. Now, this is really simple. It has to be nice and lightweight compared to what it can hold in camera package terms. It has to be really well made, has to last the test of time. It can't be something that just starts breaking after 6 months. And most importantly, it has to be stable and just provide you with confidence it's not going to fall over and damage your gear. I guess when it comes to video and not photography, the head of the tripod is a lot more complex. I'm going to get into that later in the video for good reason, as the head on the Small Rig package is where stuff gets a little bit tricky. The reason I'm talking around what makes a good tripod is because we all know there's already a very lot of tripods out there that do this. And over the last 5 years, we've seen loads of them what do it for a cheap and affordable price. So why does Small Rig claim this is the best value tripod? Because if I was just after a tripod that held my camera and was well made, I could just go to someone like Manfrotto, who have been making tripods for so many more years than Small Rig, who are new to this section of the industry. So Small Rig have got to offer us something as customers that makes us want to buy this tripod. And that is what I want to try and find out, if it is actually worth it and living up to the hype that they are saying. Another important tripod manufacturer is Satchel. That's definitely pronounced wrong. Your guys already have the toughest time understanding my accent. I swear these filmmaking brands are out there just to test my accent that a little bit more. In fact, let me find out how to pronounce this. So this is how you pronounce it, apparently.
Sachtler.
How to pronounce in German, male.
Sachtler.
So, being from Yorkshire, there's no way I'm pronouncing that. Free reign in the comments to laugh, I guess. Let's not waste any more time and let's find out what this tripod can do. Right, let's talk about some value. This thing in the UK where I'm based cost me £399, but it is also $399 US. Not sure why we get ripped off in the UK, as that means we're paying more. But Apple do a similar thing also, so I guess it's just a norm nowadays. Depending on where you are in your filmmaking journey and what type of projects you work on, you're either thinking who would pay $400 or pounds for a tripod, or you might be thinking this thing seems like a bargain, as some tripods cost like $5,000 upwards. So the best way to differentiate whether that price is actual unbeatable value is to look at the features and compare how much them features cost elsewhere. So feature number one is lightweight carbon fiber legs. These things are really impressive. It's hard to kind of gauge how much they actually weigh without seeing one of these in person and picking it up. But as you can see, it's no problem for someone to hold like with one hand or two hands. This thing weighs, I'm not sure the exact weight, I will put it on screen here. But this thing is really lightweight and it's probably its first or second #1 feature. Something else worth mentioning is the spread of the legs. I'll show this in B-roll. As the legs open, they're really narrow. Compared to the Benro tripod I've been using, the legs spread way further and that tripod goes nowhere near as high. If you're in like a crowded event-based scenario, you can load up the tripod, what takes really no space, and then lift it above people. No problem at all. And while we're touching on that, another really strong point for this tripod is the height. Again, I'll show this in B-roll, but the height is crazy. This thing goes really tall. It's one of the tallest tripods I've ever used. I've had many expensive tripods on hire what do better things in different ways in this tripod, but I would say none of them have beat it in the height it can go to. It's quite comical how high this tripod goes, but I can see how that opens up a whole new range of shots. Feature number 2 I want to talk about, and this is probably the reason I'm interested in this tripod, is the one-step adjustment. Now this is something that was first seen in
Sachtler.
Modern day tripods, and I've hired it many times as I love it. Whenever you're in a run and gun scenario, whenever you're in somewhere that's pushed for time, it is a lifesaver. It basically means that the latch on the camera is just one step. Like normally each set of legs on a video tripod will have their own adjustment, so you have to go around 3 with just one height, go around another 3 and adjust another height, where with this kind of style of design you under one and it releases all the sections of the legs, and it's like it's essentially twice as fast, if not faster. If you're kind of by yourself and you need to adjust the height of a tripod, we've all been there, it's super difficult, and this just makes that a little bit easier. While we're talking about the one-step adjustment, the build quality on them is incredible. Like it gives me so much confidence when I'm locking it in. As you can see, it's like a geared mechanism. It's a fully metal construction. It's like a geared mechanism inside with really like strong, kind of deep groove gears. I can just imagine this thing lasting forever, and that is exactly what we want in a tripod. The
Sachtler.
tripod that I hire with the same feature, the one-step adjustment, theirs is like at the top. I would say it's in better placement as it's nearer to your hands, but it's like a plastic thing that feels quite flimsy, and that tripod costs so much more money than this one. Yet the build quality of the design goes to small rig here. The next feature I want to talk about is the weight. This is rated for up to 10 kilograms. Now, not everyone needs a tripod that holds up to 10 kg. I get that, especially in today's world where cameras are super small, lightweight and incredible. Comparing that to some other options, we have my old Benro tripod, what costed a little around 5-10% more than this tripod. That was only rated up to 6 kg. And if you look at, say, Manfrotto's options, is it the 504X? That's rated up to 12 kg. So this kind of sits right in the middle of its competition regarding weight. So the first little thing is regarding the tripod plates. The way you can drop in and out tripod plates from the side without sliding them on. It's so much of an underrated feature that I understand that a lot of bigger tripods don't do this feature, and I understand why, because of the shape of the cinema bodies, but honestly, this is such a time saver. The amount of times I've been sliding on the wrong way, or it's just I'm missing it because I can't quite see. The way you can just drop it in, press the button and lift it out is fantastic. Love it. Another little feature is the extending arm. My old tripod did have this, and most tripods do, but it's still a super nice feature to see, as some of the cheaper tripods in the price range of this tend not to have it. This one might be quite hard to show, but these parts just here are silicone. It's a super cool for when you lift the tripod to move it, say over a little bit. It's nice and soft for your hands to press against. Again, it's just really well thought through. It's thought from like a user's perspective, and you've got to kind of give props to Small Rig for doing that. Now this one is something that every tripod should have. Inside the head, I'll show B-roll of this, there's a little hidden Allen key. You just slide in and out. The amount of times I've been searching for an Allen key or like a screwdriver to tighten up my tripod screw that's come loose. And if it's right there hidden inside your tripod head, that's normally where you're looking to tighten a tripod plate. It makes perfect sense, and please, everyone else, just add this feature as kind of the industry standard thing. Comes in a nice bag. Now, not all tripods come in a bag. My Benro one did. There's like a pretty close comparison to this. But I would say the Small Rig one is a bit better. They're really similar. There's not much in it, but I found with the Benro one, it was really tricky to get the tripod to fit if like you'd left one leg out by a tiny bit. But Small Rig have made it nice and kind of roomy on either end, what helps you just slide it in really easy. Next thing is with all-terrain feet. You can pop off the flat silicone rubber feet, and you have some little spiked feet for if you're on gravel or dirt or wherever you might need it. Also helps you when mounting on a dolly. A lot of dolly systems have this mounting system, so that's always good to see. If you're someone who uses a DJI gimbal, one of the RS gimbals, the one-handed smaller ones. It's got a little button you press in the top that lets you slide in and out a gimbal plate for if you're jumping back and forth really quick. Personally don't have an RS gimbal, but I'm sure if you did, this would be a lifesaver. Again, really well thought through. You've got to give props to Small Rig from thinking from a user perspective. Let's get into some negatives about this product, as nothing is perfect. Up until this point, you'll probably notice I've not spoken much about the pan and tilt on the head, or the head at all, that comes combined in this tripod package. My opinion on this head is as simple as this. If you have a camera package that is under 6 or 7 kg in weight, then you are perfectly fine. This is a great head, you'll have no issues. If you have something that is above, say, 7 kg and you're pushing up to the 10 kg quoted limit from Small Rig, then you might start seeing some issues. As when I loaded an Ursa Mini with a V-mount and some cup lenses and external monitor. Not sure the exact weight of that camera package, but I didn't feel the head was good enough. As I was leaning up and down, I got smooth shots, I got the shots I needed. I just felt it was getting in the way more than assisting me. That's the last thing you want from your filmmaking gear. But as I said, anytime I use the Panasonic S5 II, what I'm filming on right now on it, it is more than good enough. It gets super smooth shots. It's super kind of intuitive. Everything's where you expect it to be. The way you lock in stuff, you lift in and out the plate sideways, and it's got the button for the gimbal. It's really well thought around. It's got the little thing where, what I mentioned, where you hide the Allen key to tighten your plate. All these things are great and speed you up. I just think some of Small Rig's marketing is a bit misleading when you see them with people with FX9s and big lenses on their photos. I'm not sure that this is quite good enough to get smooth kind of pan and tilt up and down shots with that kind of weight on it. Another negative would be where you lock the tripod head. Let me grab it one sec. So this is how you'd level out your shots. You would use a spirit level either on your tripod head or your camera screen, then you would tighten it in place. Now the problem I found was I was twisting it till it was tight, and then when I went to pan the head, it would slip. After I give it, say, 2 turns tight, like really forced it with some pressure, it was totally fine and the effort went away. I just wish they did some sort of design that gripped it better, as this is something for some reason I don't notice on my Benro tripod I have at the moment. I just turn once tight and then it seems to stay in place. But with this Small Rig one, it was always 2 turns, and I would constantly forget when being in a rush. Go to pan, it would slip. I would have to level it back out another 2. So yeah, that's something that definitely could have improvements in my eyes. If I was being super picky, the extendable arm don't extend very far. It's not bad, but the one on my Benro tripod probably goes like 2-3 times the length. But the reason I said being super picky is this is just not something I use 99.9% of the time. No, do you know what? 100% of the time, I just use it on the smaller setting. But there might be someone out there who uses that, and that's a big deal, so I thought I'd mention it. Overall, to conclude this video, I would say that this is a great tripod. Probably one of the best tripods on sale today. I would give the leg portion of this a 10 out of 10. I think the balance between how well made these legs are versus what they weigh, the confidence they give you, the locks on them are solid metal, they feel really well made, and then you pick it up and it just, every time I lift it, it kind of surprises me how much it does not weigh, because I'm so used to heavier tripods. Gets a little bit trickier when I talk about the head part. I would give that like a 6 or 7 out of 10. It's excellent with like small mirrorless cameras, but Small Rig claim this is a 10 kg supported tripod, and I'm not sure that's true about the head. I think it's probably best to keep camera packages under 7 kg when using this head, but if you kept these legs and replace it for a bigger head, you'll be onto a real winner if you need to do that if you're using some kind of big cinema package. Small Rig do sell this as a combo or just the legs alone, so I would find out what your camera package weighs, what you're going to be shooting on. If your camera package is under like 6-7 kg, then I would definitely get the combo. It's a nice balanced weight versus capabilities, is absolutely perfect. If you're someone who's using like a bigger cinema camera, maybe cinema lenses, or like really pushing up to that kind of 10+ kg, then I would still recommend to buy the legs. I would just get the legs alone and look elsewhere for a really nice head with some counterbalance features, etc. If you want to find out what I do when I'm not using a tripod, click here.